Hello everyone and welcome. In this video we're going to take a look at chess.com's Andrea bot rated 1800, and if you've seen my other videos I normally go through practicing good clean chess. In this game I wanted to try to be a little more aggressive, which I do once in a while, and I didn't know how to work out. I did win to my surprise. At the end of 38 moves, we got to this position, and we'll go through how that happened. I will tell you this Andrea bot is difficult, and I kind of surprised myself. I normally don't play this well, so I kind of surprised myself. I've played this bot several times, and I usually I win, I lose, I win, I lose. It's a little back and forth, but as always, I post my games as they are, and if it would have been a loss, I would have posted it just the same. And so I want to make this somewhat of a quick video, but maybe this will help you if you're struggling with this bot. Okay, so let's go through here. Just remember, if you're fairly new to chess, just try to control the center and develop your pieces. If you want to memorize a couple openings or something, just pick 2 or 3 and just work with those. Start with that. Okay, so my opponent is going to do a fanchetto. That's actually a pretty good opening, pretty strong. Owning this strong diagonal. I do have a pawn out here that's not defended. So let's take care of that. Now it is defended, and I developed a piece, so I like to respond in this manner. Okay, in this situation, I got my bishop out, and if I would have pushed here, I'm afraid, let's go back and look at that. I'm afraid, that this bishop here would be blocked in. So I'm just trying to keep things open. So my idea on this game is not to play so much a clean game of chess, but I want to be aggressive, and I'm setting out to really hammer the king side of the board. And so I know this bishop isn't on the king side, but it controls quite a bit. You can reach long-ranging officer there. Okay, let's keep this going. Now I've got this opened up. Get that piece out there. Again, I'm trying to play a more aggressive style here. Okay, and here's where, and the computer knows way better than I do, okay? And the computer says this was an inaccuracy on my part. Well, yes, that is true, but I was really wanting to get things developed on the king side, like I said. So let's see how it works out for me. And here, she's trying to kick me out of there. And this, I think, is definitely a mistake on the bot's part. I don't think the real Andrea would do this. I think the real Andrea, I'd probably get my ass handed to me already. But, yeah, okay. So let's keep it going. Remember now, I'm trying to get all my pieces here on the king side and really get things going. So here, I see an opportunity that maybe I can get this rook here and just start hammering down on the king side. This looks like a great opportunity for me, and I take it. And now I see that I really want this pawn, and I'm getting there, but I really wanted to open up this file and get this rook out. That's part of my king side attack. Now here, this is where it gets interesting. So I lost my bishop. I did see this in the game, but this is where, and in hindsight, I realized that was an inaccuracy on my part. I should have retook this knight. I didn't see as much of a threat. I've got 2 pieces on the king side. I've got my queen on the king side. At this point, I really don't know what my plan is. Okay, to be honest. I don't really have a plan, I confess, other than trying to get my queen here and capture this rook. Again, I'm trying to be a little more aggressive, but I'm still doing good fundamentals. Look at this, my pieces are developed. I'm out there. This is where I abandon good fundamentals. I should have took this knight, and I really should have, because it didn't slow me down with my tempo. I should have stopped and got that knight, but I chose not to. I wanted to keep the hammer down and see what happens. Okay. So here, yeah, she should have. This is just a straggler. He does put a threat here. This knight does put a threat here, my rook. But even if I lose this rook, you know, chess, you can't take something without giving something first. It's a give and exchange, a yin and yang. And so I'm willing to sacrifice this rook just to keep my tempo going. And now I think, okay, you take my rook and I'll take yours, but my tempo is building up massive forces on the king side. And that's what I'm trying to do. And so I'm gonna, you know, she doesn't take my rook. Okay, so, and the computer said she actually did the best move. And yeah, she can get this later, so why do it now? Okay, yep, that's fair. Okay, now here's where the mistake was. But I've made this mistake too, this inaccuracy, sorry, from the computer is, I've been in this position. I mean, your king's here, your opponent starts getting pieces pointed at your king. I get a little panicky. I start to say, hey, I want to get the hell out of here. And so, okay. But I think the real Andrea would probably not have done that. But you know, it's fun to play these bots, that's for sure. Okay. Now, one thing that I always preach, if you've seen any of my other videos, is I always think of chess as I have a bushel of apples and my opponent has a bushel of apples. And for some reason, we're in a apple throwing contest, throwing apples at each other. If I can get it down to where I have 2 apples left and my opponent only has 1, guess who's going to win? The person who has the most apples. So I'm up right now. I'm up about 4 points, or actually at 4 points. So now this is what I want to do, and I do this in every chess game. So when do I do it? Once in a while, something about a blue moon or something? No, every chess game. Once I'm up like 4 points like this, I just want to keep trading down. So if you're down material, or points, you know, pawns, everything, don't trade down. That's a mistake. Keep your pieces as much as you can. So I'm going to trade down and just simplify the game. I'm just going to keep working it down. And the king has left, her king has left the king side of the board. I think the computer, Andrea 1800 bot, sees that there's too much going on, and so I think that's why the computer said, hey, let's get out of here. Okay, so let's keep this going. I don't want to ramble on too much, but the big idea here is I'm trying to trade down. Now this, the computer says I should have, my rook was under attack. I like having the rooks lined up this way, and the computer says I should have done this. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't 100% understand why. It still says it was a good move, but it wasn't the best move. I honestly am not sure why. There must be something that I just don't quite see. But okay, let's keep this thing going. Again, you want to trade down? Sure, I'll definitely do that. I'm up, so yeah, let's keep that going. I want to look at possibly promoting one of these pawns. I mean, this pawn structure here is terrible. So, okay, keep trading. Hey, that's great. Okay, this pawn is being under attack, so I'm going to go ahead and push that up. Takes my knight. Again, yeah, I'm going to double up some pawns, but you know, it's worth it. But yes, but before I do that, if I do this, then maybe this happens or whatever. Yes, I'm in a good spot here, I get it, but I'm just going to lose this pawn, and this pawn, which will now be sitting here. You know, it could pose a problem. It could queen, and my king's just sitting down here completely out of the game right now. So that's no good. So before I get this, let's do check, and then it will have to be dealt with. This check will have to be dealt with. So let's get this, let's eliminate this potential problem. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm free to take this bishop, and I do. And this pawn is going to be key here in just a minute, as you'll see. Okay, so I did think about getting this going, and I think, and here in a little bit, the computer says I do some inaccuracies. I think, in hindsight, looking at the game sitting here right now, I think the computer is trying to get me to have my 2 bishops on the 7th. I'm sorry, my 2 rooks on the 7th rank. And for those of you who don't know, that's called, they call that pigs on the 7. And basically what it is these two rooks can just swing back and forth and just devour everything in its sight, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And remember, if you're fairly new to chess, 2 rooks are more powerful than a queen. I've done some chess puzzles where the answer is you're making sacrifices to where you get it down to where it's 2 rooks versus a queen, and you want it to be the 2 rooks, not the queen. Rook is worth 5 points each, and a queen is worth 9 points. So, okay, so again, I think the computer's wanting me to get up here on that 7th rank, and I have a little bit of something else in mind, as you'll see. Okay, now I want to talk about this for just a second. What happened here with this? I understand this is, a decent attack, but when you're in this position, it's 1 rook versus 2. I would say get back here, and your hope is you want to stay up here and just, start dropping down, and then at some point get back up there. And you can also have a hope of, clear those arrows off, of, if this rook is sitting up here, it gives you hope to be able to promote one of these pawns at some point. And, honestly, in this position, that's probably her only hope. And so that's why the computer was saying, hey, why did you do this? You should have got up there. So just to explain that to, okay. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about. The computer says this is inaccuracy. And that's probably true. I mean, the computer knows better than I do. I shouldn't say it's probably true. But I have something in mind. The computer wants me to go here, again, talking about keeping those pigs on the 7th, okay? So I can just swing and just clean house, and I'm going to mate here pretty quick if I get this rook up here, and that's what the computer wants. Okay, but I see something else that I want to do, and that is, I'm going to queen now because I own all this. The pawn's protected. Now I own all this. Yeah, I'm getting a queen, and I'm going to win the game that way. And so now, if you've seen some of my other videos in the end game, the big thing I look for is creating a box for the king, my opponent's king, and just making that box smaller and smaller and squeeze in that box. And then finally it'll be mate. So I own all of this, and I own this. So the only place for the king to go is here, and that's what happens. Now my king is sitting here, so I own this. Okay. So, and remember now I own this. So really it's obviously just going to be mate. And that's what happens. Now, I normally don't get so lucky. I normally don't play this well, especially at 1800. I've beaten this bot several times, but I've also lost several times. 1800 is a very respectable ELO. I love playing these bots. I'm not afraid to try new things when I'm battling a human. I'm a little fearful to try some of these new aggressive tactics, but a lot of fun. I didn't know how this would work out, but you can go to chess.com and battle the Andrea bot yourself, and a lot of fun. Good tactics there, and just have fun with it. And I hope this helps with your battles against Andrea. And if you lose, don't worry about it. I've lost plenty of games against this bot myself. And so if I play her again and lose, I will post that one just the same. Thank you so much and have a great day.